President Muhammadu Buhari at United States Institute of Peace recalls free, fair and credible elections in 2023, gains an achievement in focus as President Buhari turns 80, plus telecom regulator warns of more wear. These and more on today's Panorama. I am Frama Panyi. President Muhammadu Buhari says the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has no reason whatsoever not to conduct the 2023 elections as planned in line with the dictates of the Constitution and the Electoral Act. He said having provided everything required by the electoral umpire to properly execute its mandate, his administration is not prepared for any excuses. This was while responding to questions after his address to participants at the U.S. Institute of Peace in Washington, D.C. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
Visiting the institute for the second time since coming to power in 2015, President Muhammadu Buhari is here to interface with the Washington community of global thought leaders and democracy advocacy groups on developments across the world, especially in developing nations that are grappling with the challenges of embedding democratic processes and systems. Attacks on democratic institutions, especially INEC offices in Nigeria, are part of those challenges raised at the forum as date for the next general elections in the country draws near.
I think there were only 2 incidents, and don't forget we have 6 geopolitical zones. If 2 offices in one geopolitical zone were attacked, I think in relative terms the security is good. So I don't want any excuse.
Earlier in his address, the president told the gathering that a stage is now set for eligible Nigerians to return to the polls next year to exercise their franchise.
And I am resolute in my determination to enable the conduct of free, fair and transparent national elections whose outcome would be largely accepted to the contestants.
On security, global terrorism, banditry and other transnational crimes posing enormous challenges to global peace and security, the president said rather than focus on negativity, which is what travel advisories have become, Nigeria, the sub-regions of Africa and the rest of the world can work more concertedly together towards finding lasting solutions.
A secure and stable Nigeria is indispensable for overall peace and prosperity of not only the country but Africa, with huge implications for global peace and stability.
He also touched on recent events in the global energy space, saying Nigeria and other developing countries owe it to their people to create jobs and livelihoods which cannot be accomplished without maximizing their competitive advantage in energy for industrial growth.
There can't be double standards where Western nations use their influence and weight to turn the taps of global financing for fossil fuel transactions, which are much needed by developing nations. Yet when they feel the pinch, they are quick to turn on their coal-powered plants.
President Buhari said despite glooming outlook in the global economy and the ongoing war in Ukraine, Nigeria continues to register positive economic growth, especially in the last 2 quarters. At the interactive session include representatives of the National Democratic Institute, the International Republican Institute, the International Foundation for Electoral System, and the National Endowment for Democracy. From Washington, D.C., Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has made a case for more aggressive investment in Nigeria's profitable economy by existing and prospective investors, saying the country remains the best destination for return on investment. This was while addressing participants at the U.S.-Nigeria Business Roundtable and Investment Forum held on the margins of U.S.-Africa Leaders Summit in Washington, D.C. Again, State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has the details.
The U.S.-Nigeria Investment Forum, organized by the Corporate Council on Africa in conjunction with the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, brought together entrepreneurs and captains of industry to compare notes on the opportunities, challenges, as well as the nature and environment for doing business in Nigeria.
The time is now to scale up the level of U.S. and Nigerian investment. This forum today, Mr. President, presents an opportunity to build on your legacy. The world is watching which way Nigeria will move.
President Muhammadu Buhari described as welcoming the growing optimism by the international investor community about Nigeria's investment prospects and business potentials.
We do not take your keen interest in the opportunities that exist in Nigeria for granted. As the most populous country and largest economy in Africa, there is no doubt that Nigeria remains Africa's largest single consumer market, projected to account for over 15% of overall growth in Africa's spending by 2025.
The president, who enumerated the various challenges inherited by his administration and the conscious as well as practical efforts made towards addressing them, takes pride in the upward trajectory now being witnessed in every sector of Nigeria's economy. He said apart from enhanced provision of critical infrastructure, the economy is now more diversified and strengthened while tackling head-on the challenges of security.
It is our strong belief that these determined efforts will rekindle interest to invest as well as enhance the volume of your investments in the Nigerian economy. Nigeria continues to treasure strong partnership with friends and allies in our national, continental, and global efforts for safety and survival.
The governors of Bauchi and Kwara states accompanied President Muhammadu Buhari to the business and investment dialogue.
It has really been an eye-opener, hugely beneficial, because it gave me the opportunity first to be close to the president, to appreciate his zeal, his energy, his penetration, his vision, and what he can do to really market Nigeria from the standpoint of his integrity, and the people both in Nigeria and outside believe in him and respect him. And so we leverage on this also as governors that came with him to connect and discuss investment opportunities in our various subnational levels.
We're speaking to investors, and a lot of them are interested in coming to Nigeria to invest in lithium mining. We have big companies. They showed interest in coming to Nigeria, the South Korean companies. So really, that's the drive we want, and that's the drive we're pushing.
Both the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Neya Debayu, and the Executive Secretary, Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission, Saratu Umar, reassured the audience of high returns on their investments as Nigeria is now more politically stable and ready for business. From Washington, D.C., Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has joined the League of Octogenarians amid so much achievement and accolades. Here is a compilation of the successes of an extraordinary general who has made Nigeria enviable amongst Committee of Nations.
Born on the 17th of December 1942 in Daura, Katsina State, President Muhammadu Buhari was raised by his uncle, the then district head of Daura, Alhaji Dauda Daura, father of Malam Mamman Daura, who enlisted him for primary school. He attended the now government college Katsina and was at the Nigerian Military Training College Kaduna, now known as the Nigerian Defense Academy, and attended many training military institutions that include the U.S. Army, War College, Pennsylvania, and the National Defense College, New Delhi in India. President Muhammadu Buhari was outstanding in his military career in foreign peacekeeping and fought for Nigeria's civil war. As a politician, he has to his records improving infrastructural development such as the construction of the second Niger Bridge, roads, rail, ports, power plants, airports, the national social investment programs to leave 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in 10 years. Economic recovery, electoral reforms, winning the fight against insurgency, and sustaining the fight against COVID-19 pandemic. So deploying innovative financing mechanisms like the Presidential Infrastructural Development Fund, Executive Order 7, Sukuk bonds, and green bonds are part of his achievements. He has recorded successes in police reforms and recognized globally for his contributions to national growth. Under his leadership, Nigeria presented Ambassador Muhammad Bandi, Nigeria's permanent representative, as the president of the UN General Assembly. Likewise, Amina Mohammed was appointed and reappointed as the Deputy Secretary General of the UN. He spearheaded the campaign for the election of Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala as the World Trade Organization's Director General, promoted the election and re-election of Akin Adesina for the second term in Africa's Development Bank. Recently, he commissioned the unveiling of the Kalmani oil well straddling Bauchi and Gombe states, promising more than 1 billion barrels of crude oil and over 500 billion cubic feet of natural gas. President Buhari is passionate about completing and inaugurating the Ajaokuta steel rolling mill and construction of the 3,500 megawatts Mambila electricity power projects. As he attained the age of 80 in extraordinarily state of high physical and mental fitness, Muhammadu Buhari's life continues to symbolize service to the nation and humanity, as well as dedication and commitment to the building of a secure, stronger, and prosperous Nigeria.
We take a break. Panorama continues with Ogochukwuka in Benin after this timeout.
The vaccine offers hope for a safe country free of coronavirus. I urge all state governments, traditional and religious leaders to take the lead in the mobilization effort within their environment and spheres of influence. I similarly urge all eligible Nigerians to present themselves and be vaccinated in accordance with the order of priority already mapped out at the various authorized designated centers only.
Still on Panorama today, reaching you also from the Benin Network Center. My name is Ogochukwuka Ona. Governor Godwin Obaseki has powered the first phase of 2.83 kilometers street lights on Siluku Road and the 3.3 kilometer street lights along Sapele Road amidst jubilation from residents. The two projects are part of the 40 kilometers of street lights so far completed within the metropolis. Elizabeth Omoko reports.
Such a huge spectacle it was to behold as the Ogwola Siluku Road and Sapele Road to GIZ Junction came to life with the official switch on of the street lights witnessed by residents of the area.
Switch it on, Mr. Governor. Switch it on.
The street lights, with a lifespan of bulbs of 3 to 5 years, is powered by the independent power project Osomo Power Plant. Governor Obaseki says plans for maintenance is in top gear, but wants residents to take possession of the project in their domain.
We will not be here 24/7 to offer security and protection. It's your project. Please make sure you get the youths to guide Let nobody vandalize these projects or take away the wires or any of the fuses. Please be on the alert. Let nobody throw you back into darkness.
The residents are optimistic that the light up of the area will bring back night life and reduce insecurity in the areas.
Motorists, people who live in the community will now be able to see light to transact their businesses.
With the operation Let There Be Light of the Governor Gordon Obaseki's administration, there is a general consensus that by the time the governor is through, there will be no square in Edo that will be dark at night. In Benin, Elizabeth Omoko, NTA News.
The European Union Ambassador to Nigeria, Samuela Isopi, is reiterating the Union's resolve to provide technical support, expertise, and technical assistance for the 2023 general elections billed for February. The EU ambassador was in Edo for bilateral talks with the state government on possible ways to transform a number of key sectors, especially migration and culture in the state. Again, Elizabeth Omoko has details.
The European Union is engaging political actors and has put measures in place to foster a credible, free and fair election.
Good elections in Nigeria, which means peaceful elections, free and fair elections, transparent elections, are not only in the interest of Nigerians and Nigeria. They are also in the interest of Europe. We are your main neighbor. We have an interest in having a strong, democratic, stable Nigeria, and that's why we have supported Nigerian democracy and we will continue to do so.
The meeting held behind closed doors with the governor for 2 hours was interactive with exchange of views and more productive ways of pushing ahead of the socio-economic ties between the two parties.
We are now looking at windows for regular migration, how we can collaborate with the EU and EU countries to create institutions to train our young people, to certify them so that they can be properly engaged or employed in activities, economic activities in Europe. Told her about what we've done with our nursing school, what we're trying to do with our School of Health Technology, and several other reforms institutions.
Experts say the relations between the two is expected to further develop on the basis of a win-win scenario and mutual respect. In Benin, Elizabeth Omoko, NTA News.
Adherence to traffic safety rules and regulations and proper maintenance of vehicles have been described as key factors in ensuring safety on the highways before, during, and after the Yuletide. Stakeholders in road safety management stated this while speaking on road safety measures for the motoring public ahead of the festive season. Eugenia and DBC completes the report.
Statistics show that a lot of road crashes and related fatalities occur during the festive period due to heavy human and vehicular movements. Festive season, no doubt, is a period when commercial drivers cash in to make more money through overloading, excess speeding, among other unsafe practices identified as factors responsible for fatal accidents and loss of lives on the highways.
Drivers, they need to be careful. They need to come out with a right frame of mind before they go behind the steering to come out, because they need to drive safely to their destination and discharge their passengers with their luggage and return back.
Do not overtake wrongly. Make sure the road is clear before you overtake. This period is not drinking and driving. You have to coordinate yourself. If you want to drink, don't drive. But personally, I would say on my own is that patience is the key. So everybody should be patient.
The Federal Road Safety Corps, while stressing the need for motoring public to obey traffic rules and regulations to achieve zero crash during the festive season, urges strict compliance with best practices of road use to guarantee the safety of all road users. And this is why the Federal Road Safety Corps, Edo State, says its continuous safe driving campaign at various motor parks in the state is to create awareness for all road users on the need to drive safely and adhere to the rules and regulations guiding the use of roads during the Yuletide.
All unsafe habits, they should put it off. Distractive driving should not come in place. At this particular time, we are our visibility will be high. Both the special marshal and the regular marshal, they are going to cover the whole state. We've delineated the state to 21 critical points. There are also some traffic flash points which we must take care of, and black points also.
Stakeholders say the rate of accidents and loss of lives during the festive season can be controlled if motorists avoid route violation, overloading, reckless driving, and abide by other traffic rules and regulations. In Benin, Eugene Andubisi, NTA News.
All right, thank you, Eugene Andubisi there for the background reports. And in the studio is the Zonal Commanding Officer, FRSC Zone 5, Benin. He is Assistant Corps Marshal Chukwuma Njoko. So you're welcome to Panorama.
Thank you.
All right, Christmas is just around the corner, and it's just roughly a week, and we all know movements, vehicular movements will, of course, increase. So what measures are in place to ensure that traffic in and out of Benin is not jeopardized by any form of crash?
Thank you very much. The core and as you know, this time we try to increase our visibility everywhere within the country on our roads. So we have deployment and resources. So under the resources we have increased vehicles. Recently we also got some vehicles from our headquarters. We have deployed those ones. We have ambulance points, in case of crashes, and those are need to be attended to. We have people, some of our staff, who use these red flags, and the essence is just to flag down speeding vehicles, especially when we are approaching some accident-prone areas, so that they can slow down. And there's a whole lot of things that we have put in place. So our regular marshals and special marshals are involved. We have task force that involve in security services, all are in place to ensure that motorists and road users travel safely this period.
Okay, we're talking about accidents now. This time is always very busy. So if we compare the last quarter of 2022 to the third quarter, is there any difference in or increase in road crashes?
Yes, I think there is a marginal increase in road crashes. And
like what percentage?
Just about less than 1%.
Okay.
That we have less than 1%. Yes, that we have. And most times the problem is not. We try to prevent accidents, but it's not possible to completely prevent accidents. But our target is to ensure that where there is an accident, we record zero fatality and zero serious injuries. That usually is our target.
Okay. So there is light at the end of the tunnel in this fight against overspeeding, overloading.
Exactly. Okay. Exactly. And you are aware that we have commenced ensuring that all these commercial vehicles install speed limiting devices, and we have also brought down to private vehicles now. So all vehicles should at the end of the day have speed limiting devices installed in the vehicle so that they can't travel beyond the stipulated speed limits.
Okay, so what other safety tips can you share with the motoring public this point in time?
Okay, I will just advise that this period of Ember month, the Ember month is not different from other months. However, we know there's an increase in everything we do, and that probably is the reason for increased crashes relating to these activities. So I will advise them Number one, I want to advise motorists, especially the drivers, to be patient. Most times the problems we have actually involves around impatience. When there is a small delay, you see that the drivers will seek for alternative ways, and at the end of the day, because when you form 3-4 lanes and you're ending up at maybe 1 or 2 lanes, there's going to be a bottleneck, and that creates a problem. So they need to be patient. And number one, I also advise them to ensure that their vehicles are in good state, working condition, so that they don't have any need for breakdown. And they should not travel at night. As much as possible, let them avoid night travels. And also, they should avoid speeding. It is not good. And then for the private vehicles, for the commercial vehicles, they should also avoid overloading of their vehicles.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. If we are taking away something from here, the zonal commander says no overspeeding, be patient, and don't travel in the night. All right. Thank you very much, the zonal commander and commanding officer, FIC Zone 5 Benin, Assistant Corps Marshal Chukwuma Njoku. Thank you so much for finding time to join us on Panorama.
Thank you very much.
All right, that's how it's been today on the program Panorama. Many thanks for joining us. Remember to join the NTA in the fight against rape and rapists. Thank you. My name is Ogochukwu Ona.